Hello. Ah, happy Friday. And if you're watching this on any other day, happy day to you. Let's go ahead and take a couple nice big deep breaths. And also, let me back up. I'm Sitara. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, welcome. Please feel free to like, subscribe. We go live here every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please feel free to come and tune in with me as part of your morning routine or afternoon, wherever you are. And so, with that, I just want to jump right in, bring us into a prayer, allow our energies to all come together as well as to release and purge. I was connecting in with some of Abraham Hicks's teachings, or Abraham's teachings through Esther Hicks. Um, and it really just has me in such a vibrant mood this morning. So I'm really excited to bring that to you, of course. And what I'm desiring to bring to us is like the reconciliation of recovering. Excuse me. The reconciliation of recovering. So go ahead and think for a moment, what is something that you feel you have had to recover from? And maybe it's something that you're still in recovery of. It could be a physical ailment, a car accident, or a health issue. It could be an addiction or addictions, because in my experience, they come in more than one at a time. Um, it can also be heartbreak or loss or some sort of financial destruction. Whatever it is, whatever kind of recovery you are feeling that you are in today, what I would really like to do and what I would like to support us in doing is being able to anchor a very, very clear prayer of illumination that we are on the other side of that recovery. And so, of course, things move a little bit slower in the physical. And so, the physical connection that you have to your own physical body, shifting energy and moving that on a cellular level is going to take a little bit of time. And so be forgiving and with yourself with that, as well as depending on the level of, let's say, destruction that was there, right? It takes a little bit more time to heal when the wound is extraordinarily deep. And simultaneously, trust and believe and know that instantaneous healing can occur. So that's the field that we're going to go into today. Now, a little bit about how this works. Your inner being, the infinite part of you that is absolutely eternal, is perfect, is innocent, is vibrant, joyful, luminous. And so when we're able to connect into that inner part of our inner being, we're able to feel the sensations of what it would feel like to not be carrying the density of pain. Siatia nuapuaka uapunia aya siataya iakonokoa. Punai I uapu unu ua uahaa kaya isiatia ua noa puahaa. Oa ya nia iakia. Ua ya ua nua pua iakiu suatrai. Ia tiania iawa uapu ayanai ikia. So a prayer of remembrance of your illuminated state of being and your illuminated state of being in a very clear state of grace. Io atanai I kiatanai io apunuku apu sukuana haakanai iakai. So taking that nice big deep breath and allowing your heart to start opening. Now, where we carry the pain is in our egoic structure, in our ego. If you'd study ego isn't arrogance, so to speak. Ego is the mental composition of your personality that makes up your identity. It's how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself, also how you perceive others. But your ego structure isn't really the feeling state. Your ego structure takes an imprint from different feeling states that you've had in your body and then goes into a fight or flight mechanism and can create these barriers to protect you. And so the ego has a job that serves very, very, very well when the ego's job is to protect us from certain circumstances and things that have taken place or that have happened. And so when we are in a state of reckoning and when we are in a state of coming into wholeness within ourself and really embodying our higher self, our inner being, and allowing that state of that consciousness to be what inspires our daily action and to be what inspires every moment of every choice that we have. So, when the ego is scared and timid, there's also a point that puts like a timestamp on it. So, the timestamp could be, for example, I woke up this morning and I could feel that my little inner 3-year-old girl was throwing a fit. I didn't really know why. I'm just waking up. But there was this internal part of me that was feeling so scratchy and so itchy. Maybe there was something in a dream that I'm not remembering, but something came up. And so, since I've been doing this long enough, I knew to take a moment to sit with her and just simply ask her what she needed. And so, I'm bringing that up here as an example because I'm sure there was something when I was 3 years old. I didn't really take the time to fully go into it, but I have plenty of stories in which I have. I'm sure there was a moment when I was 3 years old where something happened. And right now I'm expanding in a way that's allowing my energy body to continue to expand and my vibration to increase. And so what happens is it shines the light on some of those darker corners where there's timestamps of fear, of punishment, of unworthiness, of not feeling good enough, of all of these circumstances and things that we've all had experiences with before the age of 10. And so that timestamp, my little inner 3-year-old just kept held on to that subconsciously. So when we're talking about recovery and we're talking about reckoning and we're talking about embodying our growth, we're embodying our potential, what will happen is there's a part of us inside that's desiring that growth, that's desiring that expansion. It's just the way that the world works is that we're here to grow, we're here to expand. Plants, animals, everything. That's part of the nature of this world. So we're growing, we're growing, we're growing, and then all of a sudden we hit a wall or we hit a constriction, we hit the edge of where we cannot see ourselves able to expand anymore because there's just something, there's a little something that hooks. Okay, so we don't want to get stuck there. Now, adult trauma. Adult trauma is very real and it's not something that we talk about often. It's like, oh, well, it happened when I was 5. And a lot of us have a lot of inner child healing to do. I've been on this path since I was 21, even getting my degree in psychology. I started self-development at a very young age, and there's still moments when these things come up. So we want to make sure that we're not getting stuck. But the thing is also with adult trauma. So if you've had your heart broken, let's say past the age of 20, were you afraid to get in a relationship again? Were you afraid to open your heart again? Were you afraid to feel that level of pain? And for some of us, that's happened more than 2 or 3 times. And so it gets to a point where the heart just keeps closing and closing and closing and closing because it doesn't feel safe anymore to be open. Well, the thing is that we're not able to continue to expand because your open and illuminated heart is a magnet for miracles. Your open and illuminated heart is a magnet for miracles. It's when things just drop in for you. It's when things just drop into your illuminated space. It's when things just like how did it even come? Well, it came because you were in the receptive mode. Your heart was open. Your heart has been feeling open. And so sometimes this can be because there's a presence of a person that shows up in your life and you fall in love and you get on this like chemical high of all this woo. And that can happen, but it's also not always sustainable, especially if that dynamic is from a trauma bond. But so what we want to look at in this particular session, we'll say, because we're just barely scratching the surface. We're going deep, but we're barely scratching the surface of how powerful you truly are. And so a lot of us are horribly terrified of our power. And I'm going to go off on a little tangent with this one. How many of you feel a very strong resonance with different ancient cultures? Let's say ancient Egypt, let's even say Atlantis, let's even say South America, the Mayan culture, some of these other, and these are the ones that we know about that are very strong at the forefront, even Native American. Do you feel a strong resonance? I know when I was in 6th grade and I was learning about Egypt, there was something going on in my body that I couldn't even articulate, to the adults around me. But there was something happening. And now, of course, I know why. But there are also experiences. Great, we're seeing some yeses in the chat. There's also some experiences that we've had in those lifetimes, especially in the fall of Atlantis. And I'll even go as far as to say your lifetimes on other planets. And some people aren't ready to have that conversation or can even comprehend that their soul has been embodied in bodies on other planets, in different dimensions, in different frequencies. But I'm also here to say that when you start opening your soul memories, which come from the access of opening your heart, you will start to remember this. It is not that anyone has to tell you the truth of who you are. That wisdom is already living and embodied in you right now as I'm telling you this. It's been there embodied in you when you were 20 and running around like a crazy person. It was already there when you were 10 years old. It was already there when you were embodied. Beautiful. We have ancient Egyptian had an Akashic reading validated that your body's response was to cry for hours. Yes. Yes. I had a memory of being a dragon on a dragon planet and coming back to, I was out on a mission. I came back to the planet and the planet was destroyed. I had lost my entire family. And I know who in this lifetime was there on that planet. I could see them and I could feel it in my heart. And the depth of grief that I cried that day and for probably like 3 days after was excruciating. So the memories that our soul carries with us also holds an imprint of other experiences that we've had, which is also why when you meet certain people, and it's not just simply a trauma bond, but when you meet certain people, that there is a distinct familiarity that is unexplained because you haven't yet met them before. All right, you picking up what I'm putting down? We've had those experiences where we look at someone and we kind of look at someone and then we kind of look at someone and then we kind of look at someone and they're kind of looking at us. And you're going, there's a thing here. I don't know what the thing is, but there's a thing. There's a strong sense of familiarity. Well, when there's that strong sense of familiarity, chances are there's some history there. And you have the power in this lifetime at this present moment to clear and reconcile karmic debts like this. Like this. Super fast. You just need to know how to do it. And the thing is, I'm willing to bet you already know. The thing is that your ego doesn't know. Your personality doesn't know. Because your personality or your ego hasn't been taught. But when you start connecting in with the truth of your divinity and you start connecting in with the truth of who you are on a conscious state of soul resonance, you start remembering all the magical tools that you had embodied in other lifetimes, on other planets, living in other dimensions. Before you incarnated into this body, Your soul is infinite. I don't want to say was, your soul is infinite. It just simply wasn't in a body yet. So when your soul comes into a body, you're then here for the rest of your life. I'm going to let that sink in for a moment. Because a lot of us here have not spent enough time wondering where we have come from. I'm sure we've all spent quite a bit of time wondering where we go when we die and what happens there, because there's a lot of focus in this world on that. But there's not a lot of attention as to where it is that we come from, unless you look at Hindu philosophy or Buddhism. So when we connect with that infinite nature of our soul, and we recognize that time only exists in this linear form in the third dimension. That's hours, minutes, seconds. When you go outside of the third dimension and you're in the world of energy, time does not exist in that way. So you are an energetic being. As you are an energetic being, you can connect with your past, present, and future selves. That's why I have this tattoo on my hand, which I'm sure I'll share in another video. You have the ability to connect with yourself in the timeless space at all times. So when we come back to the theme of what it is that we are here to recover from, what it is that we are here to reconcile from, here's the shortcut. There is an aspect of you that is already 100% completely healed. There is a part of you in existence already that already knows how you've overcome your problem, how you've healed your heart and reopened it, how you've gotten into that dream house that you've always wanted. And let me tell you, when you're focusing on manifesting something that you desire, you're learning how to master your energy. So it's not necessarily about the thing and the this and the that and the that, but it's learning how powerful you truly are, how capable you truly are, and how to master your own frequency in such a way that you align to the people, places, and things that you want to experience in this world. And so when you're experiencing painful scenarios, there's a part of you inside that called that in so that you could learn, so that you could become a master of your own energy by learning how to master yourself through what feels like painful destruction. But ultimately, you are there in an extraordinarily powerful way to learn how to pick yourself up and learn how energy works. And energy works through your emotions, energy works through your feeling center, energy works by connecting into your gut feelings, your gut sensations, your feelings, your hunches, because those aren't always considered like your intuition. You have a hunch, you have a feeling. Trust those. And the more you trust those and the more you focus on those, the more you'll recognize that as life continues to move on and life continues to roll out, you'll realize how correct and spot on you truly are. This is how you trust yourself in your energetic form. It's by trial and error. It's by practicing. A lot of people think, well, I either don't have it or I do. Well, here's the thing, and I'm speaking from somebody, I know I was born with these abilities. I'm very aware of that. I'm also very aware that I have spent a lot of time dedicating myself to exploring my abilities and understanding more about myself because I needed to understand what was happening. So that dedication to my own abilities and that dedication to learning about myself is what has opened the doors, obviously, for me to share this information, because I do feel that I have shortcuts and I do feel that I am a bridge. And this is because I know who I am and I know what my role is in this world. That's been very clear to me from a young age. Now, the playful part is how. So enough about me. It's how are you going to show up in the embodiment of your own power? How are you choosing to embody by activating and using your free will to stand in the highest vibrational presence of the wholeness of who you be. Let's take a nice big deep breath. Ia siotonoa puaka anaya ia wahu ua kia siatanai ia kaya unukua pu uaka haakanai ia kua pu nukua kunukuaka. Ia tianaya ia kiatanai ia kiatanai ia wapu ukunuku aka haaka. Aka aka, by the way, is how you say laughter in Hawaiian. So, haha. I was giggling a little bit because as I was sharing this prayer, it was funny because I felt that the energy of what we were clearing was, okay, you're right. I'm ready. Let's get rid of this dense stuff. Okay, like really just kind of like a funny surrender, like, haha, okay, you're right. So just clearing that energy playfully, clearing that energy lovingly, clearing that energy with an open heart, and giving yourself the opportunity to step more fully into the presence of your original and divine nature. Beautiful. You guys like hearing that the house phone going off? How often you get to hear that? um, all right. So I want to say thank you so much for your presence, for being here today. We're not quite finished, but I want to offer just a bit of gratitude for you feeling the resonance of this and for tuning in. And again, I'm here. I'm going to be here every weekday morning at 9 a.m. until I am not. I absolutely love these connections. Last time I did these daily lives, I ended up having a massive quantum leap and moved from Bali to Dubai to work in the crypto field and space. So when we work this kind of energy, very powerful, very beautiful things can happen. And so that being said, I've also decided to start leading groups again, which I haven't done in a couple of years. And it took a bit of time. I had to heal some things to be perfectly honest. But I'm leading groups again. I'm leading a program called Rise. Rise is for open-minded entrepreneurs. And the reason I want to work with entrepreneurs, and it does not matter what your vocation is because I'm doing a case study. I have a huge program that I'm going to be launching in 2023. But I'm doing a case study now to practice some of these methods so that when we see that we are healing our emotional self and that when we are truly focusing on the initiative of what it is that we want to do and how we want to show up and who we want to be in this world, that it will start to open a lot of different things around in our world, increasing opening our bottom line. Because I genuinely believe that, I had programs that I created years ago called Grow Your Soul Centered Business and the Earth Angels program. I genuinely believe that when you create something that is from your heart's desire, from the core of what you came here to embody, and you create that as your business, it is one of the most soul enriching experiences that you can have in this world because of how much growth it offers you and how much growth it challenges you into becoming the best version of yourself. It's so good. It's so good. So I'm now, like I said, doing a case study to bring in entrepreneurs that are ready to start trying some frequency practices, accountability as well. We want to focus on our actions, how we're showing up, how we're choosing to show up on a day-to-day basis by what we're choosing for ourselves, and also adding energetic practices in here that is going through the recovery mode, that's connecting with our future self, that's activating certain timelines, that's remembering the truth of who we are, remembering our ancient wisdom, embodying that here, and bringing that to the forefront of what we're creating and what we're putting out into the world. You dig? That's a good one, huh? I'm excited about it. So if you know anyone, if it's you, send me a message on Instagram at Sitara Speaks. Send me the word rise. Just send me that word. It's going to initiate an automatic responder. So we're going to just gather some information. And then, of course, I will be there and I will start chatting with you to learn more about your business, where you're at, and of course, if you're a fit. Don't be afraid if you're like, oh, I can't afford it. Just stop. Just stop. If you're feeling called to this, reach out and gather more information. That's what I'm going to say first. This case study, super reasonable price. So don't even worry about that. Um, I want to get you into a place where you are feeling wildly empowered. The other reason that I feel this is important right now, we just had midterm elections here in the US. Look around. People are freaking out. Yes, there are people that are there that are doing what they can to bring more goodness into this world. I like to think that I am one of them, that my word is good and my heart is pure. And I really want to do what I can to empower people to get ahead of the wave of what's coming. We also have to be aware of the reality that we are all living in as well. And so I want to continue to inspire people that are inspiring influencers to continue to bring the evolution of inspiration into this world in a very powerful, graceful, and beautiful and fun loving way. When we have that supportive community, we're not getting depressed, we're not getting on meds, we're not doing these self-destructive things that we see in the world. And so the more people that we can inspire to hold hands and rise together, the more powerful we all are together. So that really is like the core of my intention as to why I feel called to do this, as to why I want to encourage us to be in such a powerful and beautiful state. Because we've had so much programming and we've had so much cement poured on us from childhood. And we're here to break out of that. We're here to break free of that. We're here to break into a new state of being, a new presence together. There is a great awakening occurring. There is more light embodied on this planet than there ever has been before. People like me used to be murdered for speaking out. Now I have YouTube and social media, and I've been wildly censored, and I've had all this other weird stuff happen. But we keep going, and we keep rising together, and we keep doing this with each other. So with that, my sweet, loving friends, thank you so much. Please feel free to tune into this video. If you feel that there were parts that you kind of came in or came out or came in or came out, meaning you zoned in, you zoned out, listen to it again until you can hear it, because there's more medicine in there. We went pretty deep. We went a little bit deeper than I had anticipated, but at this point, I just follow my own self. So with that, of course, reach out to me. Send me the message rise on Instagram, sitara.speaks. If you don't already follow me, please do. Come join me. And otherwise, I will see you next Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So let's go ahead and take a nice big deep breath. We'll bring through one more light channel before we close this out. Connecting your root chakra all the way down to the center of Mama Gaia. Feeling yourself anchored in her beautiful grace. Ia siatia noa puaha ayawa pu nua puaka asa siatanai ia kuapunu kuhu asasa. Ia tia siatia tanaya ia wapu kua haa kia tarai. Kunuku dekai kio torokonakai kio torkai kio tonokurkai kunumu kua putu konakai. Ia sia tanai ia wapu ua haa kanai ia wapuna a kuapu susu unua kaha aka. Ia wapuna haaka watuaya iatanai iaka haaka moia pukua haaka ya siatarai. Big deep breath, connecting root chakra to the center of the planet. Go ahead and tap the crown of your head, awakening your own crown, activating that connection to your higher self, your own divinity, your own connection to source consciousness. If anyone ever tells you you can't connect directly to God, it's your choice to believe them. All right, my sweet and dear loves. Thank you so much for joining me today. As we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our session here is very much complete. Mwah. All right, my sweet loves. I'll chat with you again soon.